in partnership with the European Union, German government, Siemens Energy, and GIZ. Analyzing the ongoing collaborative effort, a representative of the Federal Ministry of Power, Mr. Samaila Nasiru, explained that the upgrade of transmission and distribution facilities had commenced nationwide, emphasizing that skilled personnel were needed to effectively manage and maintain the systems.
Our mandate under the Presidential Power Initiative (PPI) is focused on modernization and expansion of Nigeria's power infrastructure.
Also, the country director of GIZ Nigeria and ECOWAS, Mr. Marcos Wagner, and the managing director, West Africa, Siemens Energy, Mr. Sheun Sulaiman, described the center as a major boost to Nigeria's power sector. They affirmed that the facilities will greatly improve technical capacity, enhance grid reliability, and support sustainable energy transmission. In the same vein, the special advisor on energy to the Ogun State government, Mr. Jide Onokoya, said the project was in tune with the state industrialization agenda and vision to become a leading investment destination. Earlier, the managing director of FGN Power Company, Mr. Kenny Anui, had described the initiative as a catalyst to strengthen local technical capacity, improve operational efficiency, and promote long-term sustainability in the energy sector.
We don't want to depend on expatriate capacity to ensure that those who are going to manage it are Nigerians with the relevant skills.
Speaking with the Nigeria.
The newly inaugurated president of the Nigeria Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, Alhaji Salmon Oladiti, has tasked government at all levels to continue to preserve the legacy of the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, FRCN, as a national treasure. Alhaji Oladiti gave the charge during a visit by the management of FRCN Ibadan Zonal Station to a Sal Yard office, Ojo, Ibadan. He noted that FRCN has remained a grassroots-friendly station that has been providing prompt and unbiased information to the people. Alhaji Oladiti, popularly known as Sao, also commended FRCN for supporting individuals, organizations, and corporate bodies irrespective of status. The Zonal Director, FRCN Ibadan Zonal Station, Mr. Olufemi Fulani, while congratulating Alhaji Oladiti on his recent election as the new bank president, maintained that he should not relent in his humanitarian services to the people. Highlight of the visit was the presentation of an award for contributions to humanity. On the entourage of the Zonal Director, FRCN Ibadan Zonal Station, were the Deputy Director Programs, Reverend Nii Downsy, Assistant Director Corporate Development and Communication, Mr. Stephen Agbaji, and Controller of Programs, Mrs. Fumilayo Ilisomi.
Immediate past Minister of Power, Chief Adebayo Adelabu, has officially declared his ambition to contest the Oyo State 2027 governorship seat under the All Progressives Congress (APC) with a promise of rebirth agenda if elected in the general election. Chief Adelabu made the declaration at the main bowl of the Obafemi Awolowo Stadium, Liberty, Ibadan, Oyo State. He said his declaration marked the beginning of a movement to restore, rebuild, reposition, and reclaim Oyo State for genuine progress, prosperity, and people-centered governance if given opportunity to serve. The former Minister of Power maintained that if elected, he would build a greater state that would be economically vibrant, educationally advanced, agriculturally productive, socially secured, and inclusive for all citizens and residents. The APC governorship aspirant added that he is contesting because he has the experience, exposure, competence, capacity, and leadership skills to move Oyo State from potential to prosperity. Chief Adelabu, who appreciated all the stakeholders, party faithful, and all members of the APC in Oyo State for standing firm with him, called for unity among members for better results in the 2027 general election in the state.
Ogun State Governor Prince Dakbo Abiodun has received a major political boost as leaders and stakeholders of the All Progressives Congress (APC) in Ogun East Senatorial District formally endorsed him as a consensus candidate for the 2027 Senate election. The endorsement took place at a stakeholders meeting attended by top party chieftains, including the APC consensus governorship candidate in the state, Senator Olamilekan Adeola, former deputy governors and executive of the party across Ogun East. Presenting the president to party leaders, former deputy governor Prince Segun Adeshegun said members of the APC in the district unanimously adopted Governor Abiodun as their preferred candidate for the Ogun East senatorial seat. Also speaking, Senator Lekan Mustafa described the decision as a collective move aimed at ensuring quality representation and sustaining unity within the party. Responding, Governor Abiodun expressed appreciation for the confidence reposed in him, describing the consensus arrangement as a demonstration of political maturity and unity among party stakeholders. The governor pledged to provide purposeful representation at the National Assembly if elected.
The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has sentenced former Minister of Power Saleh Mamen to 75 years in prison for stealing public funds totaling about 33.8 billion naira. The court, in the judgment delivered by Justice James Omotosho, convicted and sentenced him on all 12 counts of fraud and money laundering charges preferred against him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. He was handed 7 years each on 10 counts of the charge. The court jailed him for 3 years and 2 years on counts 4 and 5 of the charge. Justice Omotosho held that the sentence should run concurrently without the option of fine, except on count 4, which he allowed the payment of 10 million naira fine. Furthermore, the court ordered the forfeiture of various foreign currencies that were recovered from the convict, as well as 4 choice properties in Abuja that were traced to him. It will be recalled that the court had on the 7th of this month convicted the former minister in absentia. Justice Omotosho said he was satisfied that the anti-graft agency had successfully established the former minister's culpability beyond reasonable doubt.
The Ogun 1 Area Command of the Nigeria Customs Service (NCS) has intercepted unregistered antigen injections, expired seasoning cubes, cannabis sativa, and other contraband goods valued at over 6 billion naira. Briefing newsmen at Idiruko, the acting customs area controller for the command, Mr. Oladapo Afeni, said the seizures were made during intelligence-led operations carried out within the last 41 days. Mr. Afeni said the operations were part of efforts to protect public health, support local industries, and combat smuggling activities threatening the nation's economy. Mr. Afeni, who later handed over 10,000 parcels of cannabis sativa to the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA), also announced that the command generated over 125 million naira through baggage assessment and auction of seized petroleum products during the period. Receiving the exhibits, the NDLEA Idiruku area commander, Mr. Ekundayo Williams, described the seizure as a major breakthrough in the fight against drug trafficking and warned traffickers to desist or face persecution.
This is the world today. The stories that made the headline. President Tinubu has condemned attack on migrants. Court has sentenced former minister to 75 years imprisonment. Still to come. Japan tightens student visa rule demands. Ghana president approves evacuation of its citizens from South Africa. Details shortly.
We are glad to know you're still there. And now to the foreign scene. International students seeking to study in Japan must now navigate a structured and documentation-heavy visa process reflecting strict immigration requirements outlined in official government guidance. Report says the Study in Japan portal operated by the Japan Student Services Organization states that applicants are required to complete multiple stages before entering the country. It includes securing admission from a recognized institution, obtaining a certificate of eligibility, COE, applying for a student visa, and completing residence registration after arrival. According to official guidance, the COE must be applied for through a regional immigration services bureau in Japan.
Ghana's President John Mahama has granted approval for the immediate evacuation of 300 Ghanaian nationals from South Africa following renewed xenophobic attacks in the country. The Minister for Foreign Affairs, Samuel Abakwa, disclosed this in a statement issued via his X handle. According to him, the affected citizens have earlier complied with the Foreign Ministry's advisory and registered with the Ghana High Commission in Pretoria for evacuation assistance. The Minister for Foreign Affairs added that the government remains committed to protecting its citizens both at home and in the diaspora.
Still on the foreign scene, authorities in Australia have issued a warning to patients of a retired dentist, Dr. William Tam, urging them to test themselves for blood-borne viruses due to poor infection control practices at the clinic. The New South Wales State Health Ministry said in a statement that thousands of patients at Dr. Tam's clinic in Strathfield, Western Sydney, may have been exposed to hepatitis B, C and HIV. The ministry urges patients to see a doctor and test for such viruses.
Fauzia Kashim of our Current Affairs Unit in today's Heart of the Matter writes on measures to guard against hantavirus.
Hantaviruses are a family of rodent-borne diseases that can cause severe, often fatal respiratory or kidney disease in humans. Though relatively rare, some strains carry fatality rates of up to 50%. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, hantavirus has not escalated to the level of the COVID-19 pandemic, but current information indicates that transmission occurs primarily from animals to humans, especially through rodents such as rats, mice, and voles. The major transmission of infection is through inhaling virus particles from dried rodent urine, saliva, or droppings that become airborne. Symptoms include fever, fatigue, muscle aches, especially around thighs, hips, and back, as well as headaches, dizziness, and gastrointestinal problems such as nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. Although the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention, NCDC, has confirmed that there is no case of the disease in the country, yet the agency has intensified disease surveillance across the country. Nigeria cannot afford to lose its guard in the process, but draw lessons from previous response to health emergencies. Instances such as in 2014, the country was able to leverage on expertise developed through polio surveillance campaigns to trace more than 890 contacts of Ebola cases, which Nigeria successfully contained within 3 months. Similarly, when the coronavirus pandemic swept across the globe in 2020, Nigeria responded with a range of public health measures such as social distancing, regular hand washing, the use of face masks, travel restrictions, lockdowns, and regulated public activities became part of everyday life. Suspected cases are isolated at designated centers, while hygiene practices were reinforced through the widespread use of sanitizers and public awareness campaigns. Many people also worked from home to reduce physical contact. In the wake of the hantavirus outbreak, it is pertinent for the government to act proactively to prevent another public health crisis similar to the recurring battles with Lassa fever and meningitis. Surveillance at the nation's international gateways should be strengthened in collaboration with global health partners to identify and isolate any potential carriers entering the country. Public education campaigns should be intensified to raise awareness about the dangers of rodent exposure and unsafe hygiene practices. Government needs to, as a matter of urgency, improve funding for the health sector, especially primary healthcare centers, which remain the first line of defense against disease outbreaks. People in rural communities need to be sensitized on safe handling of food and the dangers associated with contact with rodents and their waste, as careless exposure to rodent droppings can have fatal consequences. Faith-based organizations, civil society groups, community organizations, and other stakeholders should also join the campaign to revive safe hygiene practices nationwide. The support of expatriate communities in the country may also prove crucial in identifying suspected cases that evade border surveillance systems. Public health campaign on sealing holes and crevices through which rodents gain access to homes, schools, and public buildings should therefore be vigorously pursued alongside improved waste management systems. Safe food handling practices must be encouraged, while environmental sanitation standards should be strictly monitored and enforced.
That script on measures to guard against hantavirus was written by Fauzia Kashim of our Current Affairs Unit and read by Ulubukola Enimola.
Now to the feature. It is believed that Olutoki stream has healing power. For details, let's join Amelia Ojemudia.
Since time immemorial, a miraculous stream named Olutoki has been in existence in Ado-Ekiti, the Ekiti state capital. Olutoki is a flowing stream situated immediately after the primary school before Okeajayi in the state. The stream was discovered by the late Apostle Ajagun Igbala in the year 1937 during his missionary work in Okeajayi. A spectacular feature of Olutoki is its ability to heal all kinds of illnesses and diseases. History shows that Olutoki has records of healing people who have ulcer, fibroid, and leprosy through regular drinking of the water as well as bathing with it. However, the effectiveness of Olutoki's healing ability is in accordance with the level of faith of the beneficiary. Meanwhile, the surprising thing about Olutoki is that with its healing power, it has no taboo attached, as people could have access to it without any form of sacrifice.
That feature on Olutoki stream was written by Grace Ojo. To end the news on the world today from the stable of Radio Nigeria, here again are the day's top stories. President Bola Tinubu has condemned the targeting of migrants in parts of Africa, warning that such action threatened the continent's unity and shared values. The Federal High Court seated in Abuja sentenced former Minister of Power Saleh Maman to 75 years in prison for stealing public funds totaling about 33.8 billion naira. International students seeking to study in Japan must now navigate a structured and documentation-heavy visa process reflecting strict immigration requirements outlined in official government guidance. And we also brought to you that Ghana president has approved evacuation of its citizens from South Africa following a recent wave of protest against foreign nationals.
Well, that's it on the world today. Join us tomorrow for a fresh edition of the program. It was edited by Mudukbe Toba. I'm Amelia Ojemudia, thanking you for your time, and from my colleague
Stephen Agbaje, thank you for listening.